All right, Coach Patrick here in Endurance Nation, back with the 4 days out from Lake Placid installment of our 5 days to Lake Placid series. In this video podcast, I am going to be talking to you a little bit about the things you want to do today, 4 days out. What are the important things that we take off our list to make sure that you're going to be successful on race day? A huge part about being able to be at your peak level of performance is being in control and making all the right decisions. And these are elements of your approach to how you handle racing that you can practice now, even in the lead up to the race, even though you're not swimming, biking, or running. Believe it or not, there's a huge mental side to what we do. It's not just about the heartbeats, not just about the watts, not just about the pace, right? Okay? So today, 4 days out, I have 4 things that I want you to think about, all right? First thing I want you to think about is when you get to Lake Placid. This is a travel day. We're assuming you have arrived in Lake Placid. If it's not today, you can bump till tomorrow, etc. But the first thing you want to do when you get there is to get checked in. Get your logistics settled, right? Whether it's a condo or you're going to a hotel, whatever it is, get checked in. Make sure it's sufficient to make sure everything works, right? You don't want to get to a hotel and find you've been bumped to a room that's not suitable to you. You want to make sure that like the rate hasn't changed. You want to make sure that when you get your condo, it's the condo that you wanted. All those things, sometimes there can be friction in there. You want to make sure that's all dialed in because you don't want to spend the rest of your week being grumpy or having family, spouses being grumpy about where you ended up. And this is something you can solve right now. So when you get to Lake Placid, first order of business, although you're just dying to put on your wetsuit and jump into that lake, is to get checked in and make sure your accommodations, everything, are what you expected, what you paid for. Now's the time to resolve it right away, right? Once you start unpacking, there's no going back, right? The third thing we want to do today is get your bike together and test it. So you've checked in, you're in your place, and again, you want to put on that wetsuit and jump in the lake, but your first order of business is to put your bike back together again and make sure it works. It's easy to come up with a wetsuit. It's easy to come up with sneakers. It's not easy to come up with bike parts in a place where thousands of athletes have descended with their bikes into a town with just 2 quality bike shops. It's easy to get overwhelmed. And if there's something wrong with your bike, whether you put it in a box and have to put it back together again, or it's been on the back of your car or on top of your car, odds are something has gone wrong. We want to check it out. I know you think, on top of my car, what could go wrong? I had an athlete a couple of years ago that lost both aero bar pads riding up. And it wasn't something that he noticed until 2 days out because he hadn't been riding his bike. Here was his bike. It looked fine, right? Like the wheels are there, the pedals are there. Like life is good. I got my bike shoes. What could go wrong? Until he went to get on the bike, put his arm down on the aero bars and said, oh my God, what am I going to do right now? And with 2 days out, he had precious little time to solve that problem. He had to jury rig something. So at the end of the day, we want to make sure that all the pieces work. So we assemble that bike, we put it together, just do a quick short with your helmet on, lap around the parking lot, up and down the street, just make sure everything works. Like if it all works, awesome, then put it away. We move on to the next step. If it doesn't work, then we prioritize that and we start working on a solution immediately when we have maximum time to race day to make that happen, right? Okay. The third thing we want you to do here on this day is to make sure you get all your food shopping done. Again, you are probably in your wetsuit right now, getting off your bike and saying, Coach Patrick, when do I get to the lake? I want to swim in this beautiful lake. Not yet. Keep that wetsuit on and head to the store. You want to go food shopping. There's the opposite section of town out towards Saranac Lake is where they have 2 proper grocery stores, one across on the other, and you can do the proper food shop. And so take your list of all the food you need for race week, your snacks, your healthy stuff, your not so healthy stuff, your, this food keeps me sane stuff, jelly beans for Coach Patrick. And then put that all together and go buy it all and bring it back. Okay, so you want to make sure we have all that done. Because the last thing you want to do tomorrow when we want to be training, etc., or doing other logistical stuff is saying, I gotta go 20 minutes to the other side of town, I gotta go food shopping, then I gotta walk around, then I gotta come back, I gotta unpack. You lose an hour and a half of your day on a day that you don't have that hour and a half. Today you have it. So go do the food shopping, do your best bet, don't crush yourself, but do as much as you can. You'll find the location, you'll see what you have. This way, if you need to send someone else, you have to make recommendations or know what you want, you know where it is, everything's easy, right? So super simple, get that food shopping, then get it back, get unpacked. And then finally, 4 days out, still not training, keep that wetsuit on, you're heading over to register. We want you to go get checked in. Get your beautiful bracelet so you can walk around town and be proud about this. But also make sure that that's all set as well, right? So just nice to know. You get all the instructions, you get the skinny about race week from the volunteers, and there's something soothing for me about going through the process of making sure that I'm official. The insurance is paid off, everything's good, and I can get down to the business of racing. But these are the 4 most critical things you want to do. Again, if you go off and start doing some other training, etc., and you come back at 5 p.m. to find something's wrong with your bike, then you've lost that day to get your bike in to get it serviced or to start working on a solution. Inside Team Endurance Nation, of course, we have our athletes who race. We've got a great community of people that support one another, and we have resources on site to help. But the more time we have, no matter who you are, the better off you'll be. This has been Coach Patrick from Endurance Nation with our 5 days to Lake Placid podcast and videocast series. This has been day number 4. I hope you found it useful and enjoyable so you can stay in that state of Zen, getting closer and closer and more ready for the race. I'll be back tomorrow with another installment, day 3. 3 days to Lake Placid. I got some great stuff to talk to you guys about. Until then, I'll see you guys online or maybe walking around town in your wetsuit.